Hello, hope you all are doing well and you all are getting ready for your exams. As the 2022 exams getting closer, I just thought of sharing with you some study tips. These will be useful not only for the 2022 and I hope these will be useful for the kids who are going to do the A-levels and also if you are getting ready for any competitive exam, just follow these tips, then you can achieve your target because these are like very simple tricks. You all might know these things, but I just thought of talking about these things because when you listen to someone else, when you listen to a teacher, then I hope you can get a motivation. So first of all, when you select, now I'm going to talk about A-levels. So for A-levels, when you are selecting your subjects, you select the main three subjects. It can be English literature, French and media studies, or English literature, Japanese and logic or political science. So whatever the subject, when you select a subject, so you can level your subject according to your standard. Like if you are very good, if you are really good in English language, then it won't be, doing English literature won't be a very hard thing. But sometimes you might be very weak, or you might be totally new for the French language, or totally new for the Russian language or Japanese, or whatever the other subject you do. So find out what is the most difficult subject you have. So just imagine if the most difficult subject that you have is English literature. So then you have to spend more time for English literature. So it's always you have to, according to the difficulty. If you find your French is difficult, if you find media studies difficult, so according to the difficulty of the subject, you have to divide, you have to allocate your time according to your strength, according to how difficult this subject is. So if you find English literature as the most difficult subject, then you have to allocate more time for that subject. And while doing your work, now just imagine for a day how many hours that you have to do your work. When you wake up, you all have just a general time. I normally wake up at this time. I wake up at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. So you have I don't know, it depends on your way of studying. If you want to sleep early at night, then you can sleep early and wake up early. Sometimes you find working at night would be easier, then you can work at night time and you can sleep little and you can sleep little more in the morning. So it depends on your daily routine. So I don't know, right? It depends on your daily routine. Now for me, most of the time I used to sleep early and wake up early. So that is my way, the way that I used to study. So whatever, if you find I want to say that keep a schedule. So I sleep at this, I go to bed at this time, I wake up at this time. Make sure you sleep a good number of hours, because you need to sleep at least 6 hours. If you can sleep 7 hours, perfect, sleep 7 hours. Then when you sleep 7 hours, you have all the other time that is for you, for your studies. You can divide the rest of the time for your studies. So when you are dividing, you can spend more time, spend time for your meal time, or you can spend we have different other necessities also. So every day, just imagine I am giving 7 hours for my studies or 10 hours for my studies. You can spend a period of time, I in the morning time, 9 to 12 I do my studies. Then again I have a break, and then again I do my studies, like that. You can, it depends on you. No, because it's you who know about yourself exactly. You know your level, you know your strength, and you know at what time you can work better, so you have to divide that time. But what I want to mention is always keep a separate time, like every day I'm working from this time until this time. Within that period of time, you can spend a little time, like for example, like if you continuously work around 1 hour, you do your writing or whatever, then you can spend around 15 minutes, or you can have a 20 minutes break. So during that time when you're having a break, you can just have a chat with your parents, or you can just you can listen to a song, or you can watch something, you can watch a cartoon or whatever you like. You can just do anything that you like. You can eat something, right? Or you can have a wash. So just don't work at a stretch, like don't work around 2-3 hours to get continuously. Then you get fed up, and then you need a big, like you feel like, okay, enough now, ati weda kara kiyala. Don't think, so don't do like that. Just make it like short period, like 1 hour working, 15 minutes break. So like that. So according to the subject, you imagine, okay, let's take English literature is the hardest subject or the most difficult subject. Then you imagine for the day you are working 10 hours. Then you can spend around 4 hours or 5 hours for English literature. Then 2 or 3 hours for French, or like that. You divide the time. It's up to you. I'm just giving you an idea. Then the next point is, okay, first according to the level of the subject, you divide the time. Then the next point is, you have to make a timetable. So every week you keep a day, like maybe just imagine you every Sunday you are making your timetable. You make a new timetable. So this week I'm doing this work. Within this week, these are the work that I have to complete within this week. Like for example, you can say then, okay, for English what do I do? English, then within this week I write an essay, I do a précis, I do 2 essay type answers. Like if you find necktie essay harder, then you can write down, okay, for necktie essay I do 2 essay type questions, I do 3 context questions, 1 for poetry, 1 for short stories, 1 for my drama, Othello, like that. You can make your timetable. For English I do like this, French I do 2 translations this week, I do a literature passage, I do a MCQ paper, like that. You can make a list of work that what you are planning to do for each subject. Every week keep a day, maybe it's Sunday or Monday or whatever the day, like within that week. And also make sure within that week you have to check, like you can highlight or you can just stick on and mark down, okay, I wrote the essay, tick it, I did the summary, tick it. And you can do them, and you can ask your teachers to correct them, and also from your teachers you can get more questions and also get sample answers from your teachers. Then you can study them, make short notes. So you have to do a lot of work within the time that you spend for your studies. So that's the next point. Then what's next? So make sure you spend more time for your studies, like you make a timetable, and according to that timetable you have to work. Then you know, like every week you have a plan. So when you have a plan, hari mama mage plan eකට මොනවද අද කරේ, මේ week එකේ මොනවද මම කරේ, මට තව මොනවද, because it's always you know your standard, you know your level, you know what you need to practice more. So if you feel like Othello is harder, you can do more questions for Othello. Because no one else, like the teacher cannot say like do this thing, like that is not up to the teacher. Teachers can give you the notes, teachers can explain you the lesson, that's all the teachers can do. We can give you the lessons and notes and everything, but we cannot make you study. So it's up to you to do your studies. Okay. Then the other thing, time management. You have to manage your time. When you write answers, like within half an hour you have to complete your answer. So one thing I should tell you, don't cheat yourself. තමන්ව රවට්ට ගන්න එපා. මොකද අපි දැන් if imagine you are writing an essay type answer or something, the quotations always, if you keep on your books and if you check them always and write, then remember at the exam no one allows you to take your books and do. අපි French වලදී translations වලට dictionary use කරොත්, if you keep on using the dictionary, at the exam we cannot take a dictionary. Because at the exam we are alone. Cheat yourself. Like always, when you make like you have to have confidence. I can do this. You should have always confidence to write alone. Quotations, if you cannot remember that particular quotation, if you keep on checking the book and write always, don't use that quotation. තමන්ට මතක තියාගන්න පුළුවන් quotations තියාගන්න. මොකද exam එකේදී අපි ලියන්නේ මම ඉස්සෙල්ලා කිව්වා වගේ, we are alone. We have to write it alone. So it's all it's checking your standard. It's exam, exams are like what I used to say this always, it's like a cricket match. We don't know, unpredictable. Sometimes you might be really good in this subject, but when you sit and write at the exam, something can happen. So you have to get ready for those as well. So, as I told you, keep your own writing, keep a set of quotations, then you can study them, make sure you can remember them, spellings, translations, the words, everything. Remember, don't use the dictionary also, don't make it as a habit. I'm a dictionary then because you get stuck at the exam. And the other thing is checking, and always when you write an answer, do it, sit and do it. Don't write halfway and then do some other work and don't come back and do that. So keep a clock. You just check the time. Okay, you can keep an alarm. Then you know at what time you need to finish. So you have to keep a record like that. And also when you write answers, separate them. For example, you can use the files for poetry, one file for poetry, one for short stories, always neatly, nicely, you can just label them aside and keep separately your answers. Don't mix them up. Separately keep your poetry answers, short story answers, novels. Then you know what are the answers that you have written for poetry, for short stories, novels and dramas, whatever. And also if you have past papers, this is my past paper book. So you can keep the past paper book separately, just bind them and keep them. So that's it. Then everything what you write, the notes and everything, keep them neat. Then it's really easy for you to write them, write the answers. And also you can have a record, I have written these questions, I have written answers for these questions. Then you have a record, you know what you have written. Sometimes if you don't do it in a particular way, if you don't do if you don't make a record, sometimes you yourself might not know what are the answers that you have written. Even sometimes you might not remember whether you have done that particular poem. So don't make it like that. So keep a record, keep everything neat, tidy, all the short notes, everything, your poetry, short story, just take some files. Then you can label them, and when the things are nice, your head is everything is clear inside your mind. Okay, so this is what I have to mention. 2022 kids, especially you need to spend more time for your studies, make a timetable and do work like that. And even especially the ones who have just selected these new subjects, make your timetable and study according to that. Then everything will be easier for you. You can easily achieve your target. You can easily achieve your dream. So have a nice time. Do your studies well. Thank you for listening. Let's meet again with another video. Bye.